Parkinson is a progressive disease, and there's nothing we're going to do to stop the progression of it at this point.
But here at the downtown YMCA in Evansville, these men are punching back against the disease.
What we're trying to do is to build ourselves up to the point where we're compensating for it. And that's very important to me, to keep me mobile, to keep me going, and keep me interested, and that kind of thing.
The class is called Rock Steady and is offered 5 times a week to those diagnosed with the disease. And there's no slacking on the workload.
All right, and up!
I also like the instructors because they do work you, and they seem to be sympathyless.
I say, you know, you guys are going to do everything anybody else is doing, so, you know, I say you're not getting special treatment, so, and they don't want it.
You saw some of the things we were doing, that sit up and hit the bag and sit up and hit the bag, and that's not easy. You know, but he kind of pushes us and forces us to do that, and that's a good thing as far as I'm concerned.
And the class is not only a win-win for the participant, but for the instructor as well.
Just how to stick with something. Hard work in the face of adversity. Be strong and courageous and take it on, and just take it head on and be proactive about it instead of letting it consume you. So, and they don't just talk about it, they come in here and do it.
It's been a very good thing for me. You know, I think it's kind of stabilized where I am in the disease process. It's maybe even strengthened me in some ways.
And that's exactly the goal of the program. Brandon Smith, Eyewitness News.
It actually started in 1990, and it's funny because the first year I did it, I thought to myself, that was an interesting thing to do once.
Well, 25 years later, Brett Burkhead and his trumpet are still at Ellis Park.
But it just turned out that they liked it, asked me to come back, and I said yes, and so here we are, you know.
Although Burkhead's first call to post isn't till nearly 1 o'clock, he arrives at the park around 9:30 each morning on race day.
I'm a musician by trade, and you know, I appreciate the opportunity to have something to do where I can actually use my skill as a musician rather than be involved in some other activity that's not related to music to cover the difference. And you know, it isn't a performance experience. Even though you're playing by yourself, you're playing for several thousand people, and they applaud, and so I still get to perform.
It's those relationships that keep Burkhead coming back each and every day.
Some young person will come up and say, oh, I grew up with you or something, and they might have been 5 years old when I started, and now they've got a 5-year-old, you know, or you know, they've got a favorite song. I've got a list like 35 songs, and they'll say, can you play that one for me today? Or that's my dad's favorite song, or whatever, you know. And so over time they get to know you in a personal way because of it.
As for if he has another 25 years ahead of him, well, he says he'll take it 1 year at a time. Brandon Smith, Eyewitness News.
I'm at the heart of cheesesteak heaven here in Philadelphia. To my right, we have Geno's Steaks, and to my left, we have Pat's King of Steaks. I talked to people on both sides to see which one they prefer the best. First, we head to Pat's, where we find a group of Notre Dame fans from Boston.
We ordered the extra cheese, steak and cheese, American.
Not bad, not bad. I went a little heavy in cheese, you know, maybe not the healthiest, but I'll be walking around a lot today. Get a little workout in.
Now, aside from the taste, the environment of Pat's is a plus.
Authentic America right here. It's the kind of place that people try to imitate.
Here in Philly, one in Rome, and just being part of the environment. You had a steak and cheese in Philly. You know, you have clam chowder in Boston. You know, just you know, be a part of that, be part of history.
As for how it ranks with Geno's, well, we'll just have to wait and see.
We're going to double down on a Geno's, see how that goes after a couple beers. And, you know, we're going to do a tour of the steak and cheeses and give our reviews.
Time to cross the street and skew a little younger. That's where members of the North Carolina band are enjoying cheesesteaks.
I got an original Philly cheesesteak with provolone cheese and onions.
Steak hoagie. It's the one with lettuce, tomato, and oregano. I felt like I needed to be a little healthier.
And they are real particular about how they like their sandwiches.
Can't go wrong with like focusing in on like the actual like steak part of it, but what I thought was the best was the bread was really good. It was kind of sweet, complemented, you know, the rest of it.
The dough was more chewy, which I really liked. I thought it complemented the sandwich a lot.
As far as which one is better,
I've only been to a few places so far. This is definitely the best cheesesteak I've had.
Pretty tough choices there. I'm pretty sure you can't go wrong with either one. In Philadelphia, Brandon Smith, Eyewitness News.
Like most team sports, having a family atmosphere can be vital for team chemistry. Well, for the UE softball team, they take that concept literally.
Samantha Fleming, and I'm a pitcher for the University of Evansville.
And I'm Michaela Fleming, and I play catcher for the University of Evansville.
Now the Flemings aren't just sisters, they are twins. So there's Sam. Now remember, she's the one in the hat, the pitcher, and of course, older by 8 minutes. Then there's Michaela.
How do I am?
She's in the headband, the catcher, and a bit more intense.
We work best when we're together. We really feed off each other's energy. We help keep each other in check.
Well, sometimes there's tension, but most of the time it just works really well.
Despite being here at UE together, that wasn't always a given.
We had already decided before we decided to go to junior college that we were going to not hold each other back, and that if one of us got an offer somewhere else, that we wouldn't hold them back.
But it was never something that we wanted, but we just wanted what was best for each other, and we're just very thankful that we got to come together.
As they mentioned earlier, the duo just don't play together as teammates. They also work together as a pitcher-catcher combination.
We started pitching and catching together when we were like 12.
I wasn't a very good pitcher. I started out as a pitcher and I wasn't very good. And Samantha played all the time. So I just figured I would work with her instead of against her, so maybe I could play.
Both admit the most difficult part of this arrangement is making sure what happens on the diamond stays there. And as they both speak glowingly of how they think of the whole team as sisters, they do realize how special sharing the field at this level really is. Brandon Smith, Eyewitness News.
New Day Rocks. New Day Rocks.
For the WWE trio The New Day, when it comes to a morning of making the media rounds, energy is the key.
We bring it at all hours, whether it be daytime, nighttime, midday, it doesn't matter.
Stand by, here we go.
In a dress shirt, it's freezing. It's altitude.
It's hard to believe the group arrived in Evansville around 2 a.m. this morning and did their first of nearly a dozen morning media hits just before 6:30.
It's really about the energy, and that's the one thing that's infectious. You know, it doesn't matter where you are, people respond positively to energy.
It's Eric Cornish here with the afternoon show and with 3 very special guests.
I'm a big fan of Johnny Cash's Hurt. It's a great song. That really moved me.
I don't know who has the most fun, but you can't tell me Woods isn't up there. You see that? I don't even know what's going on right now. We all enjoy it, but he's on another level, I think.
I know you feel that in your car. Be careful if you're on the interstate because the oxygen is thin up here on Mount Woods.
And for all the hard work the men put into promoting their events, the payoff is especially rewarding.
Clear.
Back to you.
In Evansville, Brandon Smith, Eyewitness News.